My name is Dennis Bay. I'm here to talk about Microsoft Spreadsheet. So I'm going to use this resource file or Cambridge Assessment International Education for us to understand some concepts in Microsoft Excel. The unit I'm using was a series that was done in May-June 2024, component 32. The ICT component series, whatever they are using here, is 0417 for ICT. The paper consists of spreadsheet and website authoring, but I'm interested on the spreadsheet section. So if I move down, these are the instructions given. The paper consists of 70 marks, and then these are the resource files that we are going to use in our whatever. So I should have the resource files, which I think my folder is having that. These are the resource files. If I compare, there's banner, contact, feed. These are the resource files, so I have them. So these are a real life situation that you can face in an office or a school setup, or how Excel is applied. So they're giving us a real life challenge that is faced in the world. Giraffes are endangered species only found in parts of Africa. You will analyze data on giraffes that have been rescued, tagged, and returned to the wild. So these are real life scenario, whereby we have got very few giraffes remaining in Africa, and some of the giraffes to be saved, some of them have been rescued, tagged, and returned to the wild. So they are telling first task, they are telling us, create a new word processed document, and then make sure your name, center number will appear on every page. So this is going to be the evidence document. So simply open Microsoft Word, and once it opens, go to blank, you need to have your identification, insert, and then you can choose either header or footer. I prefer header because they are not specified. Take these 3 columns, type your details so that they'll be able to know who was doing it, and then the code, the center code. KE stands for Kenya, 048, and then your candidate number. Let's say I'm 11. Please try and enhance them by going to home, increase the fonts a bit, make them bold, go back to headers, and then close. So you have already identified yourself that you are the one doing it. You're not a robot, you're a human being. So the next thing, if I go to the question paper, save this in your work area and give it this name. So this is the name they want us to save it as, followed by an underscore, followed by the center number and candidate number. So the center number and candidate number should follow the file, and you're going to use it during the examination. So when I come here back to Microsoft Word, I'll go to File, Save As. I want to save it on the desktop where the resource files are found. So I'll go to desktop, and then I go to a place called Excel Practicals. Then I give it the name they wanted. Control V to, let me remove that. Control V, and then you put the center number. We had agreed 048 underscore, and then my index was that. It is a Word document, so the save as type remains as Word document. So I've saved it. If you check up here, I've already saved it. So I'll use this one, I'll minimize it, I'll use it during the exams. They have said here. Next, task 2. Open and examine the file giraffe. This file will be used in step 2 and 3. Do not make any changes to this file. So I just need to examine it. So I'll go to that folder I told you. Then I look for giraffe. Where is giraffe? There. It is a .csv, comma separated value. So I'll just tap on number 1. On top of number 1, there's an empty box here. And then I double tap between A and B to expand the whatever. So I've not done any changes. So I'm seeing the code. Every giraffe is given a code, and the category where it comes from: northern giraffe, Maasai giraffe, reticulated giraffe, and then the species, and then it has got a scientific name, and then the population. There are some which are critically endangered, very few. Yeah, some of them are very, very few, and then their status, whether they are critically or vulnerable. So that is it. I've already examined and I've understood what it entails. Open and examine the file 32 sightings.csv, comma separated value. So I'll still go back there, then I open sighting. So once it opens, I always click on top of number 1 here, then double tap here so that it expands everything. So I can see the tagged giraffe is there, number of sightings, 7-day period, number of critically endangered sightings with photography. It gives me the countries here, and then the very big list down here. I've already identified that species is missing and status is also missing. So it goes down, it's a long list up to somewhere there. So I've already examined that, and then they're telling me save this file as giraffe like this, followed by the center number and candidate number. So I need to save it as giraffe, the sightings. So these sightings, I need to rename it. So I'll go to File, Save As. This PC, I put it in this place here, and then I wrap that. I give it this name, followed by the center number KE048 underscore 011. And I need to change it from a comma separated value into an original file, Excel workbook.xlsx. So I've already changed, very crucial to change this. Then I click on save. So if I check up here, the .xlsx is there. This is now not a generic file. The CSV was a generic file, but this is now an Excel file. Next. Row 7 to 25 will show the number of sightings of tagged giraffe in each country for 1 week in February. 7 to 25. So I just need to check what we're talking about. 7 to 25. Oh, the tagged giraffe. Those are tagged giraffe. And then row 28 onwards, details of all sighting for the week. Place your name, center number, and candidate number, center line in the header. So you have to make sure that you understand header. So in Excel, how do you put a header? But you're putting it center line. So what you do, you go to File, you go to Print, you go to Page Setup, you go to Headers and Footer, choose Header, and then Center here. They talked about center. So they said you put your name. My name is Dennis Bay underscore KE048 underscore 011, and then highlight it and enhance. Enhance, now you use this A. Just make it bold and size 12, and then click OK. If you want to underline also, you can underline, and then you choose OK, and then OK again, and then OK. So I can check here. So let me see the question again. Place your name, which good center number, and candidate name, center line, and then place the text created on. I'm just following the instructions as per the, followed by a space, then automated date, a space, then the text in the footer, then in the footer. So I'll do it piece by piece. After doing this, followed by a space, then automated date. So I'll go to Excel in the footer. Did they say which part of the footer? They have not said the part, whether it's center or whatever. So I'll just put it footer head in the center. So I'll come here, I go to Page Setup, then I go to Custom, I choose Footer, Custom Footer. So I can take the center part here, created on, space, then automated date. The automated date. The next question was what? After putting space, automated date, then a space, then the text at. So after that, I'll put a space, then I say at, and then followed by what? Followed by a space, then automated time. So after that, there is a space, and then automated time. So time is this one here. And then I can highlight it, enhance it a little bit, bold size 12, like that, and then click OK, and then OK. They never specified whether it's on the left, the right, or center, so I've just maintained center. Then I go back with this one here. So I've already finished the first task. I have 3 marks. So I was very keen. This is footer and this is header, but header is center line. Footer they have not specified, so I've just decided to put it in the center. Any part, even left or right, can do. So 3 marks there. Number 2, place a replicable formula. A replicable formula means a formula that you can use the fill handle to take it down in cell D28 to look up for the species. So the underlining words here is species using the code. So the code will be the lookup value, the code, and external file J25 giraffe for the array. These are the external file. So when I come back here, I need to go to D28. So those are things that I have to master. D28. So when I come here, I've opened the wrong thing. Human is to error. So this one I'll close it. So I'll go to Excel here. Then I come here. They talked about D28. So if I drop down, 28 is here, D28. So they want me to check for the species, this species. Yeah? But I should use the code as the lookup value. So when I come here, I normally use this. So I want to try and use two methods here for you to understand. So I'll say equal sign, then I say VLookup. So I can double click here when this one pops. VLookup. So the lookup value, this one here, the lookup value is this code here, this one here. Then I put a comma. The table array is the external file. So I have to go to the external file, which is this one here. Then I'm supposed to select all these with the exception of the column heading. So row 1 should not be selected. You start from here, Control Shift and the arrow key that takes you towards this side, Control Shift down. I've selected that. So I was interested on species. So species is in column C. So according to numbering, it will be number 3. A is 1, B is 2, so this will be 3. So I need to put here, I was checking for the species, yeah? So I'll take 3. According to the lookup criteria that I'm checking, I was interested in the species, and it is on column 1, 2, 3, which is C. And then the range lookup. I want an exact spelling of the species that I'm looking for. So I want it to be false. False, I can type 0. Or I just double click here to get false. So false is the same as typing 0. Then I close here. And then I press what? Enter. So I've gotten that the species for that is West African giraffe for this code, N3. So N3, if I go to the external file, N3 is here. So the species is Western African giraffe. The formula is working. So how many marks are those? 6 marks. Then the next question, place a replicable formula in cell F. Now I'm going to F what? F28 to look up for status. Now the status using the code. So the code still is going to be the VLookup value for the external file. So I'll use another method for fx to get this. So I'm looking for status. So let me go back to my Excel file. So Excel file is here. So I've gotten the species. So I need to get the status. So the status I'll use now fx. Then I use VLookup and then I click on OK. So the lookup value is the code. And the table array, I have to go to the other file, which is the external file, select everything. So I said Control Shift this arrow to go right, to go down. And then the column index that I'm interested is status. So where is status? Status is column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is column 6. So I'll type here column 6. And then here, instead of typing false, I said you can type 0. 0 and false is the same because it gives you 0 is equal to false. So if I click OK, so this animal is critically endangered. The N2, the code N2 is a West African giraffe, and the status in the wild is critically endangered. So let me check on the external file. N3, Western African giraffe, and it is critically endangered. So the formula is up to date. What is next after that? We are saying that is 1 mark. Replicate the formula entered in step 2 and 3 for all the sightings. To replicate is to use the fill handle so that it fills the rest of the formula. So if the formula is wrong, everything down will be wrong. So I've already confirmed my formula. So I'll come here to replicate. I just put the cursor here, double tap. So it opens for the rest. I come here, I put the cursor on the fill handle. The fill handle is this corner here. Double tap. So it fills the rest up to down there. It's a long thing. So that is how to replicate. Now the next thing, that is 1 mark. In cell B3, now I'm going to B3. You have to be very, very keen with the cell reference. A formula to count the total number of sightings for this 7-day period. The 7-day period, how many sightings were done within the 7-day period? So I'll go back to my file here. Then I go to B3. Where is B3? B3 is here. So number of sightings. Which question is this? Number of sightings. So I'll go and use, I can use any of these because the sightings were here. These are the dates. So I'll use CountA to count this because CountA will count the cells which are not empty. So I'll put here equal sign, then I say CountA. Then I open the brackets. Then I select cell, I want to select from here all the way down, Control Shift and the down arrow key. Then I close the bracket. So if I close the bracket, if I press enter, I'm having how many? 70. So there were 70 sightings that were done within 70 days. In fact, if you go to this question and you check down here, when you're formatting, it can give you the answer. So this answer tells you that I'm on the right path. So that is 70 times within 7 days that the sightings were done. So the next thing, how many marks were that? 2 marks. Number 6, place in cell B4. Now I'm going to B4. A formula to count the number of sightings for this 7-day period where photography of critically endangered species was taken. So it seems there are so many criteria here. There's more than one. I want to check critically endangered species, and that is the status, and also if photography was used. If photography was used, that is a yes. So if you check this one nicely, if I come back here, got here. So photography, if it is yes, it was used. Status, if it was critically endangered, it is counted for 7-day period. So I need to use what is called in B4. So I'll use what is called CountIfs. The spelling is terribly wrong. So I have to check count. How do you write count? Count. So I'd rather double click CountIfs. So I'll take this. So it has opened the bracket. CountIfs. So the first thing I need to do, I need to check critically endangered. So critically endangered, I'll come to status. So I select from here, from this one, Control Shift down. And then I need to put my criteria. Criteria, I put a comma, then I put the speech mark, and then I say critically. Spelling must be correct. Endangered. So I'm checking the spelling so that I don't type the wrong thing. Endangered. Is it correct? The spelling I want to check. Endangered. G-E-R-E-D. Close the speech mark and then put another comma because I'm using CountIfs. I have to do a thorough job. So I need to check if photography was used. So photography, I'll go to column G. So from here, so going down, Control Shift down, and then I'll put another criteria to say yes, photography was used. So I'll type yes, capital Y, like this, then I close the speech mark, then I press enter. So I've put two conditions. That's why I'm using CountIfs. So the range for photography, yes, and the range for status, critically endangered. So if I press enter, it gives me 12. So I'm going to my question paper, check if I'm on the right track. I'm on the right track, 12. This one should guide students when they have, because we need to format it to look like this. So they have given us, they give you the answers here, but they don't give you the formula. So it doesn't help those people who don't know how to do formulas. So if you check mine, it is 70 and 12, but you can see the formulas here. If I click here, the formula is there. I was using CountA here so that because I did not find any numbers here to count, because count will count numbers, but CountA will count cells which are not empty. So that's why I selected from A28 all the way to A97. So it found that there were 70 of them. So I'm moving on to the next question. Where are we now? I've done that. I've replicated. I've done this. Is it number? I've done this. Insert a new row between 5 and 6. So between 5 and 6, 5 and 6, a new row should be added, and then the word critically endangered slotted in. So I'll copy this. So row 5 and 6. So I'll come here, 5 and 6. I'll take the lower one. Right click, then I say insert. So there's an empty row which has been added. So I'll say what? Paste. Critically endangered. I'm executing it accordingly. 2 marks. Imagine 2 marks for that. The mother of formula is here. 8 marks. Is there any other that was bigger than this? This was 6. This is 8. 8 marks. Place a replicable formula in cell B8 to display the number of sightings. Number of sightings for critically endangered species in this country. Critically endangered in this. So I need to start with critically endangered, and then I go to the country. So here I have to use absolute cell reference together with the relative formula. Absolute reference and relative to combine, because the country is a short area. Let's see. So I'll come here. So the country is from here, Botswana, all the way to Zambia. So they said which cell again? Let me check. B8. So let me click on B8 so that I can start this thing. B8 is here. So I'm going to use CountIfs because I can see the condition. So I'll type there count. Where is CountIfs? There it is. Let me start with the critically endangered. So critically endangered, that is status. So I'll start from here. I go down, and then I come and put a condition here. The criteria is they are critically endangered. Critically endangered. And then I put a comma. Now the country where they belong, like Botswana and everything. So the country will be column E because this is the country. So where is the country? From here. So from here going downwards. But now for which country are we talking about? We are talking about this country called this is A8. That is Botswana. Then I close the bracket. I don't need to put this one in speech mark because this is a cell reference. Now I need to put some obsolete cell reference to this area for the status so that it will maintain the area. So Fn and F4. Same to this area here. Fn on the keyboard, F1, F2, F3, F4, like that. This one will be a relative formula because it will be moving from Botswana, Burundi, Cameroon, like that. Yeah, so if I press enter here, I have 0. So if I replicate it down, so there it is. So let me check out the formula. I normally check down 002. So if I go back to my 002, so it is okay. So it is showing this one here, A8 changes. So this is A8, A9, A2, A10, sorry, A11, A12. If I click here, that is A23, meaning that this one is relative. But the ones I was referring to down here, I've made them to be absolute. Status and the country, I've made them to be absolute so that they remain fixed. to this particular area. So that's what I mean by absolute and relative. Relatives keeps on moving as you go to the next cell. You can see this one is changing, but the rest remains constant down here. So that question was giving us how many marks? It was giving us a staggering 8 marks, and then replicate this for every country, of which I've done. Then the next thing they're saying, format. This is normally a free mark. How many marks are this? 7. It's free mark. It's the second biggest after this question here. So format the top of this spreadsheet so that it looks like this. So they're telling me make sure that A1 to B1 and A6 to B6 are merged. So those are the first things to do. A1 to B1, merge and center. And then A6, where is A6? A6 was there. This one here also to be merged. And then they were talking about something else. The font size for row 1 and 6 to be 20. So it's good for somebody to be keen. So this one, you add it to what? 20. Same to this one. In fact, you can use the format painter. Click here and then you tap it. It does it automatically. The format painter. This is a very nice feature that takes the right whatever. So this is 20. This is 20. Very keen about that. And then they're telling me now to use my head. Now I need to make sure that I squeeze this column B a little bit so that this one wrap text a little bit. Tagged giraffe sightings. And this one also wraps. This one also wraps. So this wrapping means they form 2 lines within the cell. And then number 2 should be small. So if I go to Excel here, this number 2 should slightly be slapped. And then this one here should have what is called wrap text. Same to this one here, they should have wrap text, and then they should be right aligned. So that if I move this a little bit like this, is it wrapping? So this one here, I also need to slap it a bit, and then this one expand it a bit, slightly. Let's see. So I need to expand this a little bit. Critically endangered. This one I need to slap it a little bit, and then expand this a little bit. Expand this a little bit. Critically, this one critically endangered. How does it look? It's good to check. Number of sightings, numbers of critically endangered with photography. So what I need to do for photography there, I need to expand this a little bit. Yeah, something like that. So it shows me how it looks. This one I need to squeeze it a little bit. Something like that. Let me check again. Some out of using the eyes. This is bold. This is bold. Country. These are right aligned. These are centered. Right align, centered. So I need to do that. So when I come here, these are right aligned. These are centered. These are centered going downwards. They should be centered, and all of this going downwards should be right aligned. Botswana and everything. This one is not fitting nicely. Okay, now let me see. Yeah, there it is. I check again. Country and number of sightings are center line and floating. Even these numbers are floating. They are in the middle. So country and number of sightings should be centered vertically and horizontally. Where this one here. So they should be centered. This one here should wrap text, and then this one here now should center. You center it vertical, and you make it bold. Number of sightings. These ones here, they should be also vertically centered. So I suppose down here also, but they're not squeezed. So let me see. So like that, and these ones is okay. This is okay up to there. So by doing that, you get your how many marks? 7 marks. Is there anything I've not done? I'm checking. These are right aligned. There it is. So if I come to Excel, there it is. It's okay. The floating country is floating. This one I can also make it float. critically endangered is not being seen properly. Critically endangered, let me see. How does it look, critically endangered? It's fitting nicely. So I need to do something about that. Yeah, critically endangered is, now I can see it. And this is wrap text, wrap text, wrap text, wrap text. This one's okay. There it is. I've fixed all that. And then what else? Save the spreadsheet. Because I'd given it the name, I just click on save. It's giraffe with the center number and candidate number. What else is there? Print the spreadsheet showing formula. In landscape orientation, row and column headings are displayed. Formulas are fully visible. To get how many marks? 7 marks. So there are things here. Landscape, row and column headings, A, B, C, D on the columns, and then 1, 2, 3 on the rows to be seen. And all formulas are fully visible. So what they're talking about, you go to File, you go to Print, orientation here to be landscape. Page setup, you go to Sheet, you make sure that the row and column headings are visible, then you click OK, and then go back, show the formula. So formula, show formula. And then what you need to do, because they need to be visible, double tap here so that this formula is visible. Now it is visible. Come here for VLookup, also double tap here between this. Where is this? Yeah, double tap there so that you can see. There's another formula for status here. So you double tap here so that the formula can be fully visible. I can see this formula, I can see this formula. I can scroll on this is called panning. If I come this side, I can see this one nicely, I can see this one nicely. So if I'm printing it, I'll print making sure that it is landscape. I'll have 12 papers to print. Can you imagine? Because the formulas are so wide. Yeah. So those are the formulas up to 6. You continue like that. So it will give you that. I hope the page setup, the paper size should be A4. That is also crucial, but still 12 papers to print. So I need to go and hide the formulas. What next are they asking? That is 2 marks. Select row 1 to 7 inclusively, only rows between 8 and 6 where citing took place. Take a screenshot. They want only to see countries where citing took place between 8 and 26 and place this in evidence document. So the first evidence document I'm going to do is this one. So print the selection showing values. So I need to do this first. To get 4 marks, I have to do this first. So between 8 and 26, between 8 and 26, so the whole of this area, 8 to 26, I'll do what is called filtering. So I'll go to home because I don't want to see the 00 sightings. I want only to see where a sighting took place. So I'll come to a place called filter. Come here, then I say custom. I say filter. When I click on filter, I'll get some buttons. So when I come here, number of sightings, I'm interested on the sighting. So I'll click here and then say number of filters greater than 0. So that's what I wanted. So if I click OK, I've filtered only, I'm seeing only this. Another method that I could have used, after putting the filter, I'll come here, then I remove 0 so that I'm remain with the areas with numbers. So if I click OK, it's the same thing. So they're telling me, how do you prove that you did that? So I'll come here and then I can come to, which one can I use? I can use this one. And then I take a picture of this. So window key, shift and S. Then I take a clean picture of this area like this. And then I can go to my evidence document that you had prepared. And that is going to be evidence what? Let me see the question paper. Evidence 11. So I'll use that as evidence 11. So I press enter. Yeah, if I want full marks, I can show them the other method that I'm an expert. So I'll come here. Then I click here. Then I say filter, number filter, greater than. Then I put here 0. So this one I can also take it closer here and take a picture. So if I say greater than 0, it means that it will filter from 1 and above. So Control Shift, and then I can take just a screenshot. And then I still go back to my Microsoft Word here, and then Control V. So I've given them full proof of using two methods of filtering. And then print the selection showing values. Make sure that the printout fits on a single page. It is portrait. Rows and column headings are displayed. The content of the cells in the row are fully visible. So what I'll do here, they aren't now portrait, but no formulas. So let me click OK here. So what I'll do, let me see again. Print the selection showing values. What are they talking about? Which print this selection? This selection. This question. Okay. So if I come to Excel here, so is this the selection? I think this is the selection. So if I go to File, then I go to Print, and then here I'll say Selection. So this is the selection. But did they say they want the row and column headings are displayed here? The printout is in portrait. It fits a single page, and everything is fully visible. So when I come here, the columns and row headings are displaying. So 7 to that. There are some which were 0. So that's why you can see the numbers are jumping here. The zeros were eliminated. And it should be portrait. And it fits one page. And it is fully visible. So if you print that, you get how many marks? You get your 4 marks. And that ends my Microsoft Excel, the Cambridge way. I've executed so many formulas. I've formatted this one to look like this, and that was giving me 7 marks. For real, this was free marks. It was free marks. And then I've also done all the inserting of a row. That was another free mark. There was this formula where absolute cell reference and relative reference was used. I've used this one here where there was CountIfs and the VLookup. So I believe if you watch this video, you'll understand how to do VLookup using two methods. And that marks the end of my video. I hope you have enjoyed and learned a few concepts in Excel. Thank you for watching. I remain Dennis Bay. Keep watching my channel for me to grow as well as you grow in different aspects like web design. Thank you.